to the hat making centre of the UK. Here you can see some of the hats taking shape on this particular equipment. We are at a company known as Wright Son, which supply these sorts of things, there you can see them, to all sorts of high street names that we'll be finding out about a little bit later. 99 is the year of the hat, but how on earth do you get a hat like this? Here's the answer. Every hat has to be shaped, and it starts off on these pieces of machinery here. It's an age-old art. This is all about 100 years old. Very safe, but still does the job. What we're starting off in this case is with polyester. This will be used for the actual base, but it has to be worked into shape. And to do that, we have to steam it on both sides to make it much more pliable, ready to go onto the equipment. And here is one that we've actually had before. It also has to be heated up on this equipment. I can just push down. You'll see there is the brim starting to take shape. Inside this metal rim here is a gas heater, which is heating it all up. There you can see tied onto this forming equipment is the bit that actually goes on your noddle, on your head, also being stretched to size and shape. And then finally we're using some hot new fabric here. This is the thing of the moment. It comes from the Philippines. It's called cineme. It also has to go through the same process. It's very light. It's a natural fibre. And here you can see it being stretched over the polyester by Les and Pete here, who are blockers, ready to go up. There it goes, ready to go through, to be formed with the extra bit of the hat, and ready to go into the machining room. And here in the machining room, there you can see the excess being cut off the cineme brim. But then you have to bring the actual hat section together with the brim, so that has to be stitched together. You also have to put the wire in, and that's being done by Greta over there. There you can see it being wired in and the stitching taking place. These machines, incidentally, this is another hat here, also around 100 years old, but the company says they're very safe, and unlike the high-tech equipment, they don't go wrong. Also in here, the Petersham ribbon is introduced into the lining. That is supplied locally. We'll hear from the supplier of that later. Very much this area tied in with the hat industry. It all started around Dunstable. The chalked downland saw long-stemmed straw growing there, which was used for straw boaters. That industry moved to Luton. 400 companies at one time in the industry, now just down to around 40. Anyway, there you can see the cineme hat section and brim together, ready to go off into the final finishing area. And there you can see a whole team of skilled finishers and sewers waiting for me to bring my hat here. And better not be too long, because I'm sure they're all on piecework. There you can see the partly finished hat. Heather here is stitching in the cineme crown. If you can just turn it over, you'll see it's being stitched into place there. Next door is Priscilla, who's introducing, again, more cineme, this time for the detail, the flower. And there we have the completed hat ready for quality control. This in Saks, which is where it'll be going in the United States, would cost you, it's not really my style, is it, £120 sterling, so quite expensive there. I was keen to hear from the designer here on what you will be seeing in the shops, both in the spring and winter of this year.
Right, well, this spring-summer, we have very much the cineme, parasisal things coming through, big brims, lots of pretty flowers, and cineme with the organza. So you very much still have the picture hat look going through. But with the new year coming, year 2000, we're going much, much smaller. Lots of fun little things coming through. So there'll be things sort of coming through like this, which obviously isn't finished yet, but that's the way I see things going.
So now you know what they'll be wearing in spring, summer and winter. A couple of guys here I'm sure we won't actually see in their products, but William Horsman, you're the director here, and you're also chairman of the Guild of Hat Makers, and also Richard Horn, you're the guy who supplies the inners for what goes on in the hats. First of all, where do you stand in the marketplace? Because you're not quite sort of designer, are you? You're not Dior, you're a little bit below that.
No, we're not Dior, but we do specialise in design, and most of our products go to the major high street department stores and the chains. We make a medium price fashion hat, predominantly for occasion wear.
We've seen all the hats actually coming off the production line this morning. Right. So you're going what, to M&S, Debenhams, those types of
John
stores?
Lewis, House of Fraser, the Arcadia Group, yeah, the high street multiples and chains.
Now, where is the competition coming from the hats you're actually producing in this factory?
I suppose the major competition would be from Asia. But they still don't produce or able to produce the smaller, exclusive, high design content that we put into the things.
Now, you're employing about 60 people here. We can see some of them actually producing the hats here, but what goes into the hat is actually supplied by another company, and Richard Horn, you're joining me here. You're actually supplying the sort of the central area, the ribbon that we've actually seen going in here. I think we can see some more pictures of the actual stuff being stitched in here.
The ribbon, as well as we also supply the cinema. We have an affiliated company who dye the cinema and dye straws, so we're supplying all the